Hey, and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben.
And I'm Kay.
And this is episode 2 review, breakdown, spoilers ahead for season 2 of Snowpiercer. So, this is your warning. We're diving deep into the Snowpiercer.
So yes, don't spoil it for yourself.
So in the UK, it's on Netflix as an original. I think in the US, it might be a TNT or whatever channel it's on. But at least around the world, in other parts, it's on Netflix as an original. So that's pretty cool. It's been released on the same day, I believe. Every Monday, we get a new episode. We are doing individual episodes because Netflix have given us the screeners, but they're only released. So we want to rather talk about it with you as we go along the adventure, and do breakdowns and our favorite moments and kind of general shenanigans of what's going on in the train. We're going to kind of try and guess, because we haven't gone ahead in the episodes yet, what's going to happen next. So you get down in the comments below. Let us know what you think is going to happen this season. You should be very happy to know that it's been picked up for a third season already. So that's great news. So we know that there's some longevity. They've got some faith in the series. But let's jump into it.
Things that absolutely jumped out to me, like the number one scene of this entire episode was in the bath.
The bath scene.
The bath scene. Oh my goodness. It gives you a real insight into Wilford. In a really weird, creepy way. He is just not okay. He's not okay. He's definitely a sociopath.
Yeah.
Or maybe even a psychopath, because he really seemed to enjoy watching that guy die.
There was a smile on his face. Just a slight one. And then when he finally died, there was like a...
Yeah, he was really happy.
And then we had the dog come and lick the blood water. And he just stayed in the blood water.
I know.
He seemed to relish it. Great scene. So if we're doing our favourite scenes, that's one of them. But for now, let's go back to what happened in this episode. So the breakdown of this episode. We have the two storylines flowing in conjunction with each other. We have two trains, obviously, that are one now because they connected very cleverly from episode 1. We saw that happen. We have the two storylines. So we have technically two families, whatever you want to call them. Wilford's train, or Big Alice, and Snowpiercer. And so we have a new detective, which is one of the big kind of plot moments, I guess. Obviously, that lady on Snowpiercer was originally part of their police force. She reluctantly takes the position. I think her name's Beth, or Bess.
Bess or Beth.
I don't know. And so she's the detective. There's something going on. So there's that one thread storyline where it seems like Wilfred is already in the forefront. He's already has lots of presence. So as soon as people realized Wilford's is there's a resurrection, we get to meet a preacher, and they show us a little kind of montage, not a montage, what you call it? Collage of people that may be now Wilfordites.
Worshipping the Wilford.
Yeah. And so when we see some of the fingers being taken, which is why we did that at the beginning. And so there's that one thread. On the other side, we've still got Melanie and the train, and she gets back on Snowpiercer. And the big plot, obviously, of this episode is they're meeting up because the atmosphere is changing.
Woohoo!
Which is very interesting. So rather than it being over 1,000 years before Earth heals itself, it's within their lifetime or their kids' lifetime. So it's foreseeable that Earth could be sustainable again.
Yeah.
But to have that, we need to get space stations and weather balloons, and that means they got to work with Wilford. And that's where the fun happens in this episode. And so we've already talked about our main fun moment. I say fun.
Fun.
Very dark moment.
I would say in terms of storyline, I think this was the best possible outcome to take the wind out of Wilford's sails. Because if the timeline is 1,000 years, then Wilford becomes this sort of mythical god figure who has saved them all, and he is the future of humanity. However, if the Earth is healing, and if the timeline is much, much shorter to, let's say, 20, 30 years, then that really takes away some of his power.
You see that on his face. It reflects. He has to kind of recover because he's God on Earth.
Yeah.
And
that's
how
saved
he
humanity.
So he is that the rest of humanity is on the trains, on these 1,034 carts.
Yeah.
And so now that's going to be taken away from him. The power of basically running
the Earth.
Running the Earth.
Yeah. What else? What scenes really stood out to me?
I really liked hospitality in this. I thought the leader of the hospitality team, she has always been a Wilfordite.
Yeah.
Obviously, she says she loves Snowpiercer, but she's totally for Wilford.
Oh, absolutely.
And the way that she gives her speech, she's just so flamboyant and really excited to see Wilford. I was hoping that we'd get to see her because they were talking about like what they'd serve and dish, and we didn't see any of that. It was just a meeting of water, you know.
Yeah, you had a glass of water.
I was like, oh, they didn't get to serve their, you know, amazing meals.
Yeah. I thought there were so many moments in this episode where you were kind of like biting your nails going, oh, don't do that. And then the person changed their minds, or, you know, like, so Melanie's daughter was supposed to kill Leighton during that meeting, but she didn't. And I think it was accidental that she didn't. I was so glad that she didn't. And I think also just watching her character wrestle with what is the truth, what is Wilford really like. She knows Wilford. She knows he's a bit of a psycho. So like she said, it's thick soup. It's hard to swallow. The lies.
It's a good line, actually, you know? Thick soup.
Yeah.
Something I'm worried about, I think you'll be worried about, is the redhead. She's been, throughout season 1, she was just that psycho character. I mean, talking about Psycho meets Psycho. She has been that psycho character. She's a leech that latches on to people as she tries to further herself to get to the goal where she wants to go. And she wants to be rich, she wants to be in charge, she wants power. So she's drawn to people in charge. And when they no longer have power, she moves on to the next. And so her goal has been Wilford. And you see just that little bit of damage when she eventually gets in front of Wilford. She gives him a big hug. He sees there's a recognition there. He knows her. But there's definitely a recognition of Psycho meets Psycho. I can use her. And so now we know that we have another pawn on the Snowpiercer train. Apart from the other Wilfordites, she's definitely going to play a dangerous part in future episodes. And the fact that she's now, even though she's on sanitization with the druggies, the drug lord, that's going to come into play for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I kind of, obviously the detective story is going to take a turn because she's going to have to figure out who there are already people who are completely loyal to Wilford on the train, and that's why the one girl got her hand maimed so that she can only do that now. And it just seems like their situation is more precarious than they realise. And so I'm glad they had the summit and they're like supposedly now going to work together in peace. I do not see that happening.
Wilford won't do that. He wants his power back.
He wants the whole train.
So we have the two leaders, Wilford and Leighton, headbutting. And, Wilford's obviously got plans of his own. He has his own monster that is invulnerable, basically.
Yeah, invulnerable to
just having him on the train, I was worried. Like, if he said, kill them all, I don't know how they would stop him. Like, how? They couldn't last time. He was the single one-man army.
Well, all he needs to do is lower the temperature. But then he would kill himself, wouldn't he?
Yeah, but they can handle it. As he said, we can slow down the rotation. You guys would die. We're used to it. Yeah. At the same time, Leighton is a good leader, but he doesn't know that he's going to have to deal with his supposed partner who's having his baby, who I think is responsible for Josie. I think Leighton summed it up really nicely when he said his mentor talked about the chess moves.
Yeah.
And it's basically who's got the center of the board, or do you? Or is it a trick? Allowing them to have the power.
Yeah.
Until then. I thought that was a great visual. So let us know in the comments, what was your favourite moment in this episode? Where do you think it's going? I can't think of a better moment, a creepier moment than the bath scene, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very visually... it will stay with you.
Yes, it will.
This is creepy.
Because also, like, when Wilford takes his clothes off and gets in the bath, you're like, where is this going?
Yeah, it was really weird. Yeah. I mean, it could have been a lot darker with another moment with Alex putting the blade in her mouth. And then she takes it out and you're like, what the hell is going on there? And then her mother's leaving her again, and that's why she's obviously cutting herself with the blade. Because she's sad. Her mom's going. And even though she pretends that she's like doesn't care, she obviously does. Yeah. All right. So I think we've blabbed enough. Unless there's anything you want to say.
No more blab.
All right. We're gonna go watch episode 3 and queue up the next episode because it's really binge worthy.
It is.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for watching this. But most of all, until next time, remember.
Live long and Tuesday.
Wilfred. Snowpiercer.